So it's Wednesday, and it's time to talk a little bit of NXT. And usually we pair this up with Impact Wrestling. Well, of course, if you noticed, there is an Impact Wrestling podcast that Aaron, Ashley, and myself did last Wednesday for the live Impact Wrestling right before Slammiversary. So that's why this is just NXT this week. We'll go back to NXT and Impact combo video starting a week from today. So let's talk NXT, shall we? Triple H comes out with the entire NXT roster. They're standing on top of the ramp, and they're paying their final respects to the late, great American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Very appropriate and very fitting that this is the last tribute for Dusty we see, the NXT one. Obviously, Dusty was very hands-on in NXT, even referred to the boys and girls in the back as his kids, and the NXT fans as his family. Basically makes him strive to be a better person and gave him all the passion that he had when he was an active competitor. And Triple H has everyone rise to say their goodbyes and honor the passing of Dusty. And everybody does. We get a 10 bell, everybody's dressed up, and it's just complete dead silence other than the bell sounding in Full Sail, and very appropriate that would be the last of the Dusty Rhodes tributes we got from the group that, in all essence, pretty much knew him the best, his NXT family. So the show pretty much starts off after this with Hideo Itami coming out. He's dressed up in a suit, he's got his arm in a sling, and he basically says he's got about 2 or 3 months left of recovery before he's able to return. Rumor has it he's going to be back in October, hence 2 or 3 months. And he's being interviewed by Greg Hamilton. He says he's going to be in attendance in Tokyo on Saturday, and he is making a public challenge to the winner for the NXT Championship. So Kevin Owens comes out, and he says, "You're just going to be there so you can see me obliterate Finn Balor once and for all. I've been dealing with disillusionable," and he stops himself. And he says, "You know what? I've stumbled so much here that I sound like I'm trying to speak English. Like Hideo Itami trying to speak English. I'm not leaving Tokyo without the NXT Championship. And let me make this perfectly clear. You blame me for what happened. I can assure you, if I had any part of it, then you wouldn't be standing here right now. You would be licking your wounds with Sami Zayn somewhere. And I want an apology, because, you know what? You called me a bad person, and that's not okay." Yeah, bizarro Stuart Smalley there. Makes sense. He says, "Kevin Owen, you are a great champion, but terrible human being." The only thing that came to mind was the Taka Michinoku, "You jackass." That's pretty much what came to mind there. And he's like, "You know what? If I'm going to get blamed for this, I might as well do something to deserve the blame. I'm going to take care of that one good arm you still have right here and right now." Owens power walks to the ring. Finn Balor meets him. They fight in the aisleway. And they eventually get to where Owens has like a second to powder away. Balor almost gets ready to dive off the stage onto him, and he gets attacked by Rhino. And Rhino boots him literally off the stage, and that sets up our main event, Finn Balor and Rhino. These two had a tremendous matchup several weeks ago in NXT, and I'm more than happy to see them face off yet again. One thing I will say about Rhino, though, I don't really like his gear. It's a weird thing to say, but his gear. He's wearing, like, the black singlet, the long singlet he's been wearing for a long time. But it's pink now. The R in Rhino is pink, and it looks like it was just, like, made. You could tell because it's kind of still got that shine to it, and it still looks like it could peel off potentially. It won't, but it looks like it could. So yeah, I wanted to make that a comment. We get our first matchup of the evening. It is the tag team of Big Cass, Colin Cassidy, teaming up with Enzo Amore with Carmella in their corner, taking on the thrown together team of Jason Jordan and Sylvester Lafort. Which is funny because I said Lafort needs to be the person that guides Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, who eventually will end up being his partner in the very end, to the NXT Championships. I think that's a great idea. But they went one step further, and they decided to make Sylvester Lafort the tag team partner of Jordan, because Jason Jordan is doing the, I need to find a tag team partner, and eventually he's going to end up with Chad Gable, and we're going to have an awesome team based on this. He says, as Enzo and Cass are on the mic, he says, in the ring are a couple of bustas. And Cass goes, definitely lot blockbusters. Enzo says they're mushrooms in Mario's world, about to get laid flat. So for some reason, Cass decides he wants to be topical about the movies that are currently out in theaters. One guy looks like Magic Mike, the other searching for his entourage. I don't see Marky Mark, which is funny because that's also an Entourage reference. I see two Ted. Two big teddy bears. He had to say what he was meaning because it kind of made no sense. And you boys are about to get terminated. Hasta la vista, baby. And of course, we spelled it out that the fact that Jordan and Sylvester LaFour were SAWFT, soft. So, we got this match, started off the show. So, Enzo gets slammed on LaFour for a 1, and Jordan tags himself in, a takedown. LaFour gets tagged back in, and they work Enzo over, and Enzo ends up sending LaFour to the floor. He kind of basically sidesteps him, Rob Petrie style, and he rolls up Jason Jordan for a quick 3 count. So, still building up the fact that Enzo and Cass have yet to get a real rematch against Blake and Murphy, and they're building this and building this, and building up Jason Jordan, finally settling on Chad Gable as his actual tag team partner. And I know that's exactly the direction we're going to go, and that's the right direction we're going to go, but we still need a little bit more time before we get there. Samoa Joe is seen in an exclusive from last week, basically says, let them fight. He says this over and over again. I didn't get the fight I wanted because Kevin Owens is still walking. He escaped. It's real simple. I want Kevin Owens. And he repeats. And he says, let me fight. Let me fight. So, then we get our next match. Obviously building Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens heat, which I'm sure is going to lead to a tag match, which sets up perfectly based upon how this show ended. I'm going to memento this thing. Cassie comes out, and she's wearing what looks like, to me, like a blue party dress with like skirts underneath and wrestling boots, which is, that's fashion emergency. And she's facing off against my least favorite NXT women's superstar, and it's Dana Brooke with the gorgeous Emma in her corner. Hot, evil Emma. So, yeah. Dana comes in, she's trying, she's getting, I can't say she's getting better, but she's improving, I guess you can say. I guess I'd say she's getting better, but she's, something about her just doesn't, like, rub me the right way. I'm not big on her at all. I don't really like her in the ring. I understand why she's there, but I understand why people are putting stock into her, just like they did with Charlotte, and it took me a while to buy into her, but maybe it'll take me a while to buy into Dana Brooke, but we'll see how it goes. So, Cassie with a satellite head scissors takeover and tries to take advantage. Dana catches her with a neck snap across the top rope. Scoop slam and a very awkward delayed pin for a near fall. Locks in a modified bow and arrow and 2 back kicks from Cassie. Breaks the hold. 2 big clotheslines, a wheel kick in the corner, and she goes to the middle turnbuckle. She gets caught with a forearm from Dana. Picked up, better than you, driver, and that's the end of the match. And to complete this, Devin's in the back with Charlotte, and Charlotte says, you know what, I don't understand why Dana has a problem with me, but sooner rather than later, she's going to find out what I'm truly made of. So, basically saying that the only reason that you have any credibility is that you have a last name that is very famous. The only reason that you're anything is because you're a Flair, and Charlotte basically says, you know, that has nothing to do with me. I understand my legacy, my family's legacy, but when it all's said and done, I can get it done in the ring. And she can. And Charlotte and Dana Brooke, they're still continuing this feud, which they really haven't had many matches yet. We get our second part of a 3-part series of Finn Balor and talking about his time spent in New Japan, in the New Japan dojos, and meeting up with Jason Albert, and also more Becky Lynch, and talking with Sami Zayn, and finding out that dude really likes Legos, like really likes Legos, and it was funny because him and Sami Zayn were building a pirate ship. I thought that was hilarious, by the way. And apparently what he used to do is sit down as a little Finn Balor in 1995, and he would watch SummerSlam 95. Yes, the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania SummerSlam 95 that I was at live. I was in the cheap seats, literal cheap seats back in those days. And he watched that over and over again. He said he watched it like 10 times in 1 week, and that's what he did. It's like his favorite pay-per-view of all time. I don't know about that. Not much to really talk about in that after you get to Razor and Shawn, too. Barry Horowitz and Chris Candido was fine. Brett and Isaac Yankem was decent. Diesel and Mabel, not so much. Hakushi and... I don't remember whose opponent was. I'm thinking. It was Bob Holly and Triple H. Hakushi against... Oh my god, this is going to drive me nuts. So what we're going to do is we're going to look up the card on camera, because you know what? I can. So yeah, we had... Where's your card? Okay, it was Hakushi and the 1-2-3 Kid. It was the opening, and I enjoyed that. The Smoking Guns against the Blues Brothers, which are Ron and Don Harris. You had Bertha Faye and Alundra Blaze, the Monster Ripper from Japan against Medusa Maselli. The Undertaker and Kama, that was, it was there. And the rest of the card I just mentioned. Brett and Isaac Yankem, Shawn and Razor 2, and Diesel and Kate Mabel. So yeah, I don't know if I'd watched that 10 times in 1 week. So, of course, we're talking about Albert met Fergal in 1996, and they were the best of friends. There's obviously a lot of Carl Anderson in this, because obviously the tag team with Albert. Japan was the second home, and we're going to get our third part later tonight. We're going to find out a little bit more about Finn Balor. This has been really successful in putting over Finn Balor as somebody really special. They're really focusing on his entire career and really building him up. And at 5 a.m., they're going to show a Finn Balor special on the WWE Network right before the Beast in the East show. So stay tuned to watch that if you get a chance. I'm sure it'll be worth watching. So William Regal has told Bull Dempsey that he needs to get in some shape. So Instagram pretty much shows him eating chips, falling asleep, laying around, doing nothing. It's just, yeah. So there's that. Bull Dempsey might be a fun babyface if they roll with this the right way. We'll see where we go. Hype Bros tag team action up next. Zack Ryder and one of my least favorite superstars in the NXT roster, Mojo Rawley, taking on the not Shoot Nation of Sawyer Fulton and Angelo Dawkins, because they've never been named the Shoot Nation on television. So, of course, we get the Hammer Time sit-out axe handle, and that's hit on Sawyer Fulton. And basically, Fulton and Dawkins, they channel their inner Beverly Brothers, or inner Hawes and Benjamin, depending on how you're looking at it. Same thing. And they do the assisted dive bomb to the lower back, and that's on Mojo for a near fall. Tags in Zack Ryder, tag in Angelo Dawkins, middle rope missile drop kick, and the charging forearm, the broski boot. Sawyer makes the save, tag into Mojo, lift and Rough Rider off the top, and that's all she wrote. Hype Brothers win. And they're heading towards Blake and Murphy in the NXT Tag Team Championships. I know they worked a lot on the house shows, the Ohio and Pennsylvania house shows that they had about a month ago. And I'm really curious to see where we go from here. William Regal's with Eva Marie, and she just wants an opportunity to prove herself. And Regal's like, well, you know what? Your charm's not going to get you anywhere here. Let's see what you can do in the ring. So Eva Marie facing off against a superstar from NXT very soon. I'm really curious. I think Eva Marie, Dana Brooke, and Emma would be a nice Mean Girls team if you really want to put them together. I understand what you were saying. Oh, and they're kind of like the dollhouse pretty much, but not exactly. I don't think it would work that way, but I would think that it'd be fun to have like 3 like nasty Mean Girls, like seductive, sultry like Mean Girls. I think that would work really well. And Dana Brooke, she's like, I'm better than you anyway. Emma is like really like evil, and I think you add Eva Marie, who could be like the cherry on top, literally. So I think that would be a great idea and a great suggestion to go on forward. So we get Finn Balor and Rhino, and Kevin Owens is on commentary. This is glorious. Kevin Owens on commentary is amazing. And it's funny because he's talking about, I'm going to retain the NXT Championship on America's Independence Day, and he says that's a great movie. I thought that was funny. He says, it doesn't matter because I'm Canadian. And Rhino locked on a bear hug, and we had some really awesome commentary with Rhino having advantage on Finn Balor as Kevin Owens is putting him over on commentary, and also jawing back and forth with Byron Saxton and Rich Brennan. I think that's entertaining. And Corey Graves is the one that's basically like apologizing for the other members of the announce team. I thought it worked really well. And it's funny, literally pets Byron on the head, and he puts his arm around him, and he's like, you just go take a nap or something, which made me laugh hysterically. And then he's like, it's a bear hug, and Rich Brennan does that on commentary, and Kevin says, Rich just hit puberty right here on air. So we come back from commercial break, and 3 big forearms off the ropes from Finn. A boot in cuts him off, does Rhino. Middle rope, shotgun drop kick for a 2 count. Whip in and chop, whip to the corner and chop. Hesitation drop kick to basically Rhino on all fours. Good, sends him down, gets a near fall for that one. Goes for reverse Bloody Sunday, countered into a release Northern Lights suplex for a near fall. And he basically says that he would high-five Corey Graves if they was sitting next to him right now. 3 diving shoulders in the corner for a near fall. Ducks a short arm clothesline. Pele kick. Staggers Rhino. And he charges into Rhino's back elbow. Rhino on the middle turnbuckle. Gets caught with a high kick, which knocks him off. Heads up top as Owens walks to ringside. Finn is distracted, but it's a sliding drop kick. Sends Owens to the floor. Rhino with a belly-to-belly suplex. And charges into a front kick from Finn. Sling blade heads up top. Coup de grace. And that's the end. 1, 2, 3. Finn Balor wins. Owens attacks him from behind. Rhino and Owens with a double team. Samoa Joe runs out for the save. Owens and Rhino powder. And Kevin Owens' music ends the show as he is left standing there with Rhino on the top of the ramp as Samoa Joe and Finn Balor are standing in the ring staring them down. That is NXT for this past week. Obviously, we're building towards Kevin Owens and Finn Balor this Saturday night in Tokyo, Japan, or this Saturday, like, super early morning in Tokyo, Japan, depending on what time zone you're in at the time. Obviously, we're going to be doing a live podcast right after The Beast in the East is over. If my work schedule is kind of mixed up, we're going to do it later on in the day. But you will have a live podcast for the July 4th Tokyo show, without a doubt, whether it's going to be at 8 a.m. or whether it's going to be later on in the day. It just 8 a.m. or like late afternoon. We'll find out. Once I know, I will shoot you guys a message on Twitter and let you guys know what's going on. So that would end wrestling content for another week here on Pop. Tomorrow, brand new Sip and Snack. We're going to be focusing on DreamWorks cereals and fake butterbeer. And Friday, AJ's Movie Reviews tackles Magic Mike XXL, Terminator Genesis, and Faith of Our Fathers. You're going to love this review, folks. Mark my words. AJ spitting fire this week. Saturday, Gaming with Ash returns. And, of course, that's going to be a special episode there and the live podcast for Beast in the East with Aaron, Ashley, and myself. And this Sunday, brand new verses. Your cryptic comment to kick you into July is killer. Monday will be your Raw Popcast. Of course, we're going to talk Monday Night Raw. It is the go-home show for Battleground. And we will be joined by our newest correspondent here on Pop, Victor. That's right, Dr. Emmett Brown 1 from the Horror Nights Updaters. Vic will be joining Ashley, Aaron, and myself for a 4-man broadcast team heading forward. And that's something we have awesome news to look forward to. And that's what's coming up. So that's your Pop information. More Horror Nights information once we get it. I think as the next couple weeks go by, we're going to start getting like pelted with information. That equals out to more Popcasts, more videos, more content here on Pop. And speaking of content here on Pop, this is not the only place you can check out these videos. Oh no, if you want to check out AJ's Movie Reviews, if you want to check out Gaming with Ash, if you want to check out Versus, or if you want to check out any of the Halloween Horror Nights content here on Pop, it is currently available up until late November, because I haven't put up the rest yet. From late November all the way up until now on MoviePilot.com. So yeah, you can check out Pop on MoviePilot.com /Sir Owen Disney. So MoviePilot.com /Sir Owen Disney if you want to check us out on MoviePilot.com. While you're there, you also can go to Facebook, click like on our Facebook fan page. Only takes a second. Sir Owen Disney Pop on Facebook, or search for Sir Owen Disney and Pop. While you're there, you can also friend request me at Owen Disney. You can tweet me at Sir Owen Disney and find out all the things I do on Twitter. And also, you can give ideas for Versus or Sip and Snack, or the Vlog of Randomness, which is on sabbatical right now, but trust me, it will be returning eventually. If you have questions, travel questions, trip questions, Horror Nights questions, Disney, Universal, if you want to ask me personal questions I can't answer on here for good reason, or if you'd like to become a podcast yourself, and finally, if you are a theme park or wrestling podcast that would like Suro and Disney to be a part of your show, then all you have to do is send me an email, suroanddisney@gmail.com. So in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I gotta say about that.